Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third episode of. You guys ready for this? We're gonna say it together this time, right? Ready? Arcade Parlor. We're getting there. We're getting there. We have a lot more practice to do there, though. Third episode of Arcade Parlor. Today's date is November 12th, Saturday, November 12th. Episode 3. I am your host, David, also known as Poncho Taco of Twitch.tv. I'm looking around the virtual room here, and I have, right in front of me, I also have Ashley.
Hello, David.
How are you doing today?
You know what? It's a beautiful day. The sun is shining. I can't complain, my friend.
It's not shining by me. It's actually like sleeting outside.
I am so sorry.
But I'm warm, so I can't complain. Ashley, good to have you here. I look at our next host, Jackson. Jackson, how you doing?
What is up, David? Mr. Dave, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm pretty freaking good. I'm glad to be here. This is gonna be a good episode. I can feel it. I'm feeling my bones, man.
Oh yeah. I can feel it. Every episode's great. Every episode's great. You know, there's finally, people are doing podcasting again finally, and it's us. We're the only ones out there these days. Yeah, it's only us. I don't know why everybody else stopped, but we're doing it. We're doing it. We're keeping this media alive solely. So these are our hosts. You guys know us. You guys know us. Our listeners, they all know us. But we also have our second guest with us today. The one, the only. She'll call you stinky to your face. HKayPlay of Twitch.tv.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're glad to have you. How are you doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I would be lying if I said I wasn't a bit nervous, as this is my first podcast ever. Wow. But I am so looking forward to it, and was really excited when you guys approached me to be part of it, and I'm looking forward to it.
It was doing the first episode. It was kind of nervous for me as well. I had never done a podcast before either, but I found the hardest biggest difficulty I found was just looking at the time, being like, how are we gonna fill this time? But then it just kind of happens. I don't know how to explain it. It just kind of happens. The time suddenly you're looking like, whoa, it's been 45 minutes already on this one topic. How does that even happen? So it's all normal. It's all normal. But hey, we're happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So, guys, I feel like a lot has happened. We had our last episode was what? We published it.
It's been forever.
Yeah. The last episode was published October 3rd. I'm looking at the calendar. That would have been the first Monday. We typically aim for the first Monday, so it would have been October. It's been a long time, and so much has happened. Like, holy crap, so much has happened.
For all of us.
Yeah, for all of us. Speaking for myself, I'm in a new office. I'm actually in a new office. Been talking about this for months, it feels like, but I'm actually in a new office. Built this space in my garage. That's a disconnected garage, by the way. It's a disconnected garage from my house. Built this office in here. Took a long time, but I'm finally in here, and it feels good. It feels good to finally be in here.
How long total were you working on that office? I feel like it was forever.
I started working on it June.
Wow.
Back in June. It was before we had to go on a vacation for a wedding. A destination wedding that we had to go to, like in North Dakota or something.
What made you want to make a new office? Like, what was up with the other one that you were originally recording in?
So my original office was obviously in the house. It was we have a 3-bedroom house, and it was the 3rd bedroom in the upstairs area. So that's where I've had my office for years. Work if I ever have to work from home or something like that, or just where I had my PC set up with some game consoles just to play some stuff. And eventually, about 9 months ago, we found out, hey, we're having another baby. We're having another baby.
Kind of crazy how that works.
Yeah, and we were like, we got to use this room. So I started thinking, I was like, I don't know what to do. I need an office because I pretty much work from home. I can't sit in the dining room with kids running around trying to conduct business in a professional manner. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I put some thoughts together, talked to my father-in-law, and some other people as well. And we're like, why don't we just build a room? Our detached garage is like 2.5 cars, so it's pretty large. So I was able to carve out a pretty large section of it and build this. But yeah, guys, this Thursday, I have a new baby coming. New baby.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. After this episode, but the next episode, I'm going to be baby dad of 2. Dad of 2.
That's amazing.
What if it came in the middle of this episode? That'd be awesome.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Dang it!
Fingers
That would have been
crossed.
so cool.
Yeah, imagine the content that would produce the content.
For one, I'm close with you and your wife. I get very emotional when you guys talk about this baby coming. But it's just been so fun to like share the journey. And your wife's been posting pictures of her belly growing, and I think the whole community is just very excited for the newest addition to the Pancho Taco family.
Dude, I am super excited.
In the next,
my daughter's gonna be. What's that?
In the next podcast is gonna be baby number 3.
I don't think so. I hope not. How's that?
Oh my!
I made that joke the other day, and your wife shot me right down.
Well, I can tell you it's not gonna happen. I can guarantee that. So what else? Where was I going? This threw me off. A third baby. This just threw me right off. We have a third baby coming. No, we don't have a third. We have a second baby.
Yeah, third
coming.
baby.
Man, now you guys are planting things in my mind. What,
You heard it here first,
what's
folks.
going on here? I was saying, I'm super excited for baby number 2. My daughter was born in January of 2020, so she's gonna be she's going on 3 years old.
Wow.
So she's right at the right age to start helping. She's kind of getting it. She's kind of getting it that there's a new baby coming. She actually totally gets it. I don't know if she understands how much her world is going to change when this happens, but she gets that another baby is coming, so she's super excited about it. And she's at the right age to start helping out. So, yeah, next Thursday. This next episode, I will be I'll be a baby daddy of 2.
Wow.
Congrats! That's so cute.
It is.
I'm looking forward to it. Actually, today was my wife's last day of work for like 3 months. She's taken 3 months off.
She went right to the end.
Yep.
Good for her.
Yep. So she's gonna be off until like February or something like that.
You have a lot of time off too for the baby, don't you?
Yeah. This Wednesday will be my last work day for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Nice.
Yep. So
Awesome.
To help transition that new baby into this world, taking like over a month off.
Oh well, that's exciting though, and I wish you all 4 of you guys the best.
Thank you. So, a lot of big stuff happening for me. I know there's other big stuff happening for other people in this room. Ashley, what's going on with you? What happened to you these past 30 days?
As if I don't talk about it enough off podcast, I had a very big move. I lived in Rhode Island, but as you all know, I go by Ashley, Florida, because I lived in Florida for 30 years. And it took a lot of planning. It took a lot of time, but I finally figured everything out. And 2 weeks ago tomorrow, I moved back to my home state of Florida.
Yay! So happy for you.
Congratulations.
Very cool.
Thank you. And then, of course, I moved here, and this past Wednesday, it was the third hurricane in recorded history in the month of November. Ever in Florida.
Wow.
Perfect timing.
It didn't go right through where you live, though, right?
It was originally supposed to hit right where I live, and then it ended up skirting right by me. but of course, tons and tons of rain. I am not gonna lie, I definitely purposely timed my move to miss the snow up north, and also miss hurricane season here. I was like, let me just go when it's like not as humid and hot. But yeah, the hurricane found me, but it was just super rainy. I'm on a second floor, so I don't have to worry about flooding. My dogs are very happy. I have 2 very tiny dogs that do not like the snow and do not like the cold. So they are just thriving and loving life right now.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah, I've had smaller dogs, not as small as yours. When I was young, we had dachshunds.
Oh.
And little wiener dogs, and dude, those things when it got cold out, they were just like a shivering log outside. they have like the very finest of fur. They don't have like any warmth on them at all, and they're just out there just shivering like crazy. And I felt bad, but it's like you gotta go.
I remember being in Rhode Island and it would be snowing. It would, like all the snow would be outside, and I'd open up my back door, and my littlest dog Daisy, she's only 5 pounds, and she got that fine like Chihuahua hair, and she would look at the snow and literally just turn around and go back inside. I'd have to like pick her up and physically put her on the ground just so that I could take her for a walk.
We always had to dig out like a spot in the yard, right outside the door for the dogs growing up.
Yep, I shoveled a big square every time it snowed.
Mm-hmm.
I am so sure, 100% sure that you are not going to miss the snow, Ashley.
You know what I'm not going to miss? Shoveling.
Right.
That I will never miss. I don't mind the cold. I don't mind the heat. I'm pretty happy anywhere, but the first time I shoveled snow, I was crying while I was digging my car out. I was like, I'm never going to get it. I mean, it was like 20 inches of snow when I had first moved to Rhode Island. It was a huge storm, and there I am outside in like my leggings and my flip-flops, digging my car out, and yeah, it was tough, but I managed. But I'm glad I never have to do that again.
Those days are long gone now.
My best adult purchase that I've ever made was a snowblower. Living here in Michigan, we have
nice.
We have like a driveway that runs like the length of the house, and our garage is semi behind the house a little bit, like maybe 30 feet behind the house. So we have a driveway that runs. That means it has to run 30 feet, and then it also has to run the length of the house as well as the front yard. So it's a very long driveway. Before I purchased the snowblower, it would take me and my wife like nearly 3 hours to do.
Wow.
Including sidewalks, of just lifting heavy snow. Your back is hurting, everything. And then I purchased, that was 1 year when we first moved in. We just didn't have the cash yet to buy a snowblower. The next year I bought a snowblower, and 20 minutes. 20 minutes, the whole thing's done.
Wow.
No back breaking or anything like that.
Great investment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my favorite purchase I made in adulthood, is that it just saves so much time and pain.
It's a beautiful thing.
What about you, Jackson? Do you get snow where you're at?
Yeah, we get plenty of snow. I'm in Utah, so we got the mountains, we got the cold, we got all the snow. We've got snow here already. Like, not a ton, just a little bit. It's just snowed a couple times, but it's definitely gonna hit come December and January. But I don't love the snow that much personally, except for skiing. There's a lot of good skiing over here in Utah, and it's very fun to go up in the mountains and be able to go on some of that fresh powder. Ski on down. It feels good.
But near me, there's one ski hill, but they also do like a lot of false snow during the winter, because we're not guaranteed good snow all year round where I'm at. So they do a lot of false snow, whatever that, I don't know what that powder is that they put on there, but it's running. It's running during the winter. Yeah. So I've never done skiing myself though, but it looks fun.
Yeah, it's very fun. Hurts my back, but other than that, it's a good old time.
I never done skiing. The only thing I ever did was go to Pennsylvania during the Poconos. during the winter, and I did tubing, where they take a giant tire and you slide down a hill of snow.
Tubing's
That's
awesome.
what I did.
Yes.
That's
It
arguably
was
better.
fun. It was awesome, but I had on, like those stuffed animal looking hats that you could put on. It's a hat shaped animal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I got one of those, a husky, because during that time I had a Siberian husky, so I got a husky themed hat. And when I was going down the hill, it flew off my head and it was gone.
Oh my god.
I'll never forget that.
How could you
when
lose
when
such
I
a
was
precious
in
item?
high school, it was a smaller school, and they would do this thing where we went to like they would take like 2 days off school, and we would go to like a nearby camp of some sort for like an overnight thing. And in the winter, there was a snow hill with tubing. And I don't know why they let us do this, but every year people have broken teeth, broken legs,
Oh,
every
no.
single year. It was like, I know one time I had braces at the time, and somebody's foot, like their boot, like kicked one of my braces right off, and so I spent like the day where everyone's having fun. I sat like in a nearby orthodontist just getting it fixed.
Oh
Oh
no.
my god. Talk about lawsuits.
So I don't know. I don't know if they still do that, but it was a thing when I was there, and it was wild. People always getting hurt all the time.
Broken legs are always fun.
Yeah.
Never had one.
Have you guys ever broken a bone?
Knock on wood. Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
Bones of steel over there.
There's a chance that I have broken my nose twice, but I've never gone in to get it checked or anything.
Oh my god.
The first time, it was like at some like winter school camp or something like that, and I was taking out the trash. That was like my chore at the winter school camp, and then I tried to like step off of this super icy ramp and then landed flat on my face. There was
Ooh.
blood everywhere. I could hear like
Yikes.
crunching in the cartilage. It was nasty, but never went and got it checked. For all I know, it could have been broken, but who knows?
Do you have any visible crookedness? I guess I've never paid attention.
I'm not a ton. I think
Okay.
a little bit. And I mean, the fact that I've potentially broken it twice, because both of the times that it happened, like I could like push on my nose, and there was something different. It felt different than normally pushing on your nose, but like there hasn't been a ton of crookedness in my nose that I've noticed. Maybe a slight amount, but I may have always had that. Could be anything.
You
After
have a
that
great nose.
incident, do you have trouble breathing?
A bit, not a ton, but a little bit, and that might just be genetic as well, because I have like brothers and my dad who have trouble breathing because of their narrow nose.
Same.
I've only broken a wrist. I mean, maybe like a pinky toe. I unconfirmed, of course, because he just buddy taped that. But I've broken a wrist before in high school.
Ooh.
What were you doing?
We were doing it was what's that week called where everyone's excited for a certain game coming up?
Like a spirit week?
Yeah, Spirit Week. Yes, it was Spirit Week. High school was in the gymnasium. They were doing like some, games or something like that. It's relay race style things. And actually, this is gonna be funny. The story behind this is they had like these sheets on the ground, like bed sheets. You would put somebody on it, and you had to drag them across like a line. Who could do it the fastest. So I'm the one doing the pulling, and PTW is on the bed sheet.
Wow.
Oh my god.
If you're a listener here, you don't know who PTW is. That's my wife. Her name is Pancho Taco's wife on Twitch, but known as PTW. So she's on the sheet, and so I'm pulling her. And something happened where I got twisted, and I went to turn or something to pull, and of course I tripped. Now you have to understand, my family, I come from a very unathletic family, so if we ever break our bone, it's always in the dumbest way possible. And of course, all it is just me turning and like taking half a step, and I fall down immediately. And I land right on my, I don't know, like right down on my wrist somehow, and it's like
Yikes.
It broke in two places. The doctor explained it's like a bone that it's like a pretzel. You can't really just break it in one spot. So it broke into. Luckily, it was in a spot they didn't have to do any surgery. They were concerned about that because of depending on like the growth plates or something, if they had already been placed or not. Otherwise, it'll affect growth. Luckily, that stuff had already finished up at me that they had said, so I didn't have to have any surgery. But that's how I broke. That's how I broke a bone, and just like the dumbest way.
I broke one bone in my life. It was my non-dominant arm, like at the wrist, but it was actually my arm. I think it was my tibia that I broke. I was 10 years old. I was playing tag outside with all the neighborhood kids. And my neighborhood was under construction. I remember we were like the third people to move into this really big neighborhood with like 80 houses. So there was just like a random steel rod on the ground. I tripped over it. And my mom always says that I ran in the house and I showed her my arm and I was like, Mom, do you think it looks broken? And she says that my bone was just like sticking out like through the skin so bad. She's like, let's get in the car.
let's get in the car.
Imagine as the mother seeing your kid with the bone outside. Like, what would you even do?
Oh my god, she's a trooper, let me tell you. But yeah, that was easy. I had a cast for a few weeks and it was my non-dominant hand, so I could go to school and write. Actually, it was summer. I'm sorry. It was not school. I had my cast, like, the first week of school, and then it was off.
The weirdest thing to me about breaking a bone is when you get that cast off, how weak your muscles are. Just that feeling. I don't know. It's weird.
My skin was,
weird.
Like, yellowy, too.
Really?
Yeah, it looked like a jaundice of the arm.
Yeah, it has all that dead skin on it that the doctors wash off for you and everything. It's nasty when it comes out. It's nasty. Anyway, Jackson, anything happened to you in the past 30 days? Anything big?
Dude, okay, so, I mean, I didn't move or anything. I'm not pregnant. I went to San Diego last week. That's like the only thing I've done in the past month that's noteworthy. And of course, it's like right in the middle of when we're supposed to record our podcast episode. So sorry that this episode's coming out a week late. That's completely on me. I'll take that L.
Big L.
Big L. Common L coming from this guy. It's rough.
But you know what? There is a little bit of a W in the silver lining, though. Little bit of the dubs. Which brings us, HK.
Yes.
We talked to you a while ago, like I don't know, probably about a month ago. We approached you, and we had the date set up for last Saturday that we were gonna do the recording, and then we had to push it off a week. But I think that actually might have been for the better. A lot has happened for you, specifically in the last week. A lot has happened for you.
I don't even know where to begin. It's honestly till today, and I was thinking about it while I was vacuuming my house. I was like, oh my god. I actually became partners on YouTube and Twitch during the same week, back to back. And it was funny, it was last week, last Tuesday, I got an email in the morning that I became partners on YouTube, which I didn't even it's not that I didn't care for YouTube, even though that's where I started, but it wasn't really my bread and butter. But just seeing that accomplishment, even though it's difficult to reach those requirements on YouTube, I was shocked. And I felt good. I was like, okay, so you know what? We got YouTube down packed. Now I'm going to get compensated for all the videos that I've been pushing out since 2020 of August. Right. And then the next day, the funny thing was, I was live streaming on Wednesday, the 8th, I believe, and I was live streaming, and I noticed after I ended my stream, I had a notification on Twitch, and it says, congrats, you can use all your partner perks, and I'm like, what? I was in disbelief, and the funny thing is, usually during my live streams, I take a break of around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern timing, and I got an email at 2 o'clock, but some reason that day, I just didn't check it, because I would have announced it that day, that I became partner. So, whatever the case was, a lot has happened for the best, and I feel like I finally accomplished something.
No, that's awesome. I missed the very end where you came back, but I did go back and watch the VOD, and it was funny because you had actually ended stream.
Right.
You were in your outro scene and everything, and then you suddenly came back. You're like, wait, everyone, don't leave.
It was funny
something.
because I don't remember if I think for some reason I think I just postponed the raid because there's sometimes I just don't feel like raiding after a stream. And I had the outro ending soon, and I saw people were still in the chat here and there because I didn't push them off to a raid, or else they naturally would have left. So I'm checking my email. No, first thing I do was go on my desktop, and I see that I have a little one on the inbox for Twitch, alerts or something, and it says, "Oh, you have partner perks," and I'm like, "What?" So I quickly check my email I'm still live technically, but it's on the outro overlay, and I check my email. It says, "Congrats. You've been approved. You've been accepted in the partner program." And I quickly changed. And I was like, "Guys, come back. And there was like a handful of people that were still there. And I was like, "Guys, I became partner." And they're like, "No way." And I was like, "Yeah, but we're going to celebrate the next day because everyone already left." So it's even till today, I just can't believe it.
Absolute moment. Moment right there.
Big W.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
A lot of hard work, I know. Just hearing you talk about past and everything, a lot of hard work went into that, and it's awesome to see something like that pay off.
It was all worth it, and I do briefly talk about it on my live stream of how I got here, but there's a lot more to the story which I'm willing to share today, actually, that a lot of people don't know. But there's a lot of things that went into the birth of HKayPlay.
Well, let's jump into it. And why
All
don't
right.
you tell us your story? Tell us where you started, why you wanted to do this. And I'm sure we'll have some questions along the way for you. But why don't you go ahead and get started, and we'll interject occasionally.
Alrighty. So first off, long story short, if you asked me 5 years ago that I would be a content creator / live streamer, I would be laughing. Because to me back then, I thought that was unrealistic. Like who plays video games and get compensated? I'm better off getting a salary and getting paid every week for work, and going to a job and having a boss over you and all that stuff. But whatever the case was, growing up, I was always like into video games more than my other siblings. I have 2 older sisters, then it's me, and then I have a younger brother. And my 2 older sisters were not into video games. My brother and I were always into video games, and growing up, we played it often. We grew up with the SNES. We played a lot of Super Mario World All-Stars, the whole shebang. And then it was funny because from the SNES, we transitioned to the original Xbox, and that was a massive transition to get used to. So we ended up getting the Halo Edition original Xbox, which is my number 1 absolute favorite console, the green one. And ever since then, we were like, what is this Halo? Because we were so used to a 2D side-scrolling type of platform game. And we were like, what is this Halo? And then ever since then, popped that disc in there, and I was just so hooked. And like as years went by, I started working. I went to college before I started working, and it was to pursue a career in teaching. My dream job was to become a college professor in algebra, or even in English or speech. College was rough. I felt like during college I was more concerned about working, because then at the age of 18 I started working. So it was tough to balance school full-time as well as working. But to me, I was more concerned about getting paid. So yes, I took work over school. So it's not that I was failing. I actually did pretty well in college, but I unfortunately did drop out just to work full-time. And during when I dropped out, I was working at a clothing store, and then I left that job, and then I went to an appliance store. Was there for a while, and then I left that as well and became unemployed. And during that time I was unemployed, I let go of gaming a lot. I just didn't have the time since you're working a lot.
Right.
So I was off for a year, and in that year my friend gave me his SNES, and from there I just got back into this whole Super Mario gaming world, because I kind of forgot about that. So I during my time I was off, I was just playing Super Mario All-Stars, Super Mario Lost Levels. I was just so hooked. And I was like, wow, I really miss this, because growing up, my sister usually hogged it, but during that time I had off from not working, I just got back into it. And then also I was heavily into Grand Theft Auto Online. I had a whole squad and everything, during this time off. And
really?
Of course, I was so into this. And it was funny because my mom just, and this was like the age of like, in early 20s. And my mom would walk by and she gives me like the side eye, like, what are you doing? You don't go to school, you don't work, and you're sitting here playing freaking video games. And it was tough. So when I left the appliance store, my sister got me a job at a supermarket, and I only lasted 6 months. It was tough, but I was just like, I really need to get my act together. So after working at the supermarket for 6 months, I was unemployed once again for several months, and from there I just went back to playing video games at home. But then eventually I realized, okay, I'm approaching my mid-20s. I should probably go get a job. So after that, I decided to get into the whole real estate world. And it was funny because before I got into real estate in 2018, I believe, I had a few friends that were like, hey, listen, we noticed that you play video games a lot and you're so good at Super Mario Lost Levels, and that's a difficult game.
Yes.
And they're like, imagine if you became a streamer. And I'm like, what is that? So someone showed me on YouTube, and usually before that YouTube, I only went there to listen to music. They're like, no, watch Dashi XP. Dashi is a phenomenal YouTuber that does a lot of Mario making, and that's how I got introduced to Mario Maker. So just watch YouTube, watch this guy, and ever since then, every night I binge watched Dashi Games. He's a big YouTuber that plays Mario making. Like, he paved the way for us Mario Maker streamers. And then after that, I noticed that I discovered Ryu Car, who's another YouTuber that does Mario Maker. And then from there, I also discovered DGR Dave, who also plays Mario Maker. And from there, I just binge watched them. I ended up playing a friend's Mario Maker, and I said, wow, this is way too difficult for me. Who plays this stuff? So I just went back to the regular SNES. And that thought that day still stuck to me. Maybe you should consider becoming a streamer, but I didn't have the funds. Or any of that, and I was living in a small apartment with 3 other adults, and there was just no way that I would have room to even become a streamer, let alone the privacy.
Sure.
So I kind of let that idea go because it was unrealistic in 2018, and so I decided forget that idea, and I decided to make a career in real estate. And it wasn't even like for some reason I was like, yeah, I'm so interested in doing real estate. I just threw myself in there just for the heck of it, and I got my license in 2018, and I practiced for about 2 years. And during that time, I thought that going into real estate was, number one, I thought that it was like a career for me, but it was just the thought that everyone wanted for me. But ultimately, at the end, I didn't want to do real estate. It's just I did not wake up every day loving what I do. It's not a terrible career. I think it's a phenomenal career if you're interested in selling homes, and you can make a great living out of it. What I did in real estate was, yes, I had my license, but I didn't really sell homes. I actually did more property management, which was handling units and buildings throughout New York. I'm from New York, currently still in New York. And I managed buildings throughout New York. Here and there, maybe I would help out and sell a house and get a cut from it, but I was mainly hourly. And 2019, I decided that, hey, maybe I should pursue this career of becoming a content creator, because after real estate, I worked a full-time, maybe, got home around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I would still get my Switch, and I started playing Mario Maker, started playing Doom, and whatnot. And then I think Mario Maker 2 eventually came out, and I started exploring that. And I said, maybe I should become a streamer part-time. I mean, I have a job that's compensating me, and maybe I can just do this part-time once a week or something. But then you have to ask yourselves, how can you afford this equipment, right? Now, this part of the journey is something that I left out and nobody knows.
Wow.
What I'm about to tell you guys is something that nobody knows, and there's a reason why I left it out, but because I'm here today, I'm going to share with you guys how I really was able to become a streamer. So, that day I decided, hey, you know what, actually I am going to become a streamer, and I am going to purchase the equipment and stuff, but how will I purchase it if I wasn't financially stable to do so? Well, we're going to pause right there. So, back in 2012, growing up, I was very close with my father, and, we shared a special relationship, and I did share this before, not to get a little... I know this is like a gaming podcast, but it has a lot of ties to how I even became a streamer.
Sure.
So growing up, I was,
relevant.
very close with my father and whatnot, and it was interesting because I did share this with the stream one time on my community. My mother had 2 girls, and when she found out in 94, which I was born in, that she was having another girl, which was me, she made an appointment to do an abortion. And she just didn't want to deal with another girl because it was like the culture, like, oh, this woman's having only girls, she needs to have a boy. So
and
she
share
didn't want to
your culture with us for those who don't know.
I'm Indian. More specifically, I am Punjabi Sikh. So yeah, my grandmother gave my mother a lot of trouble with that, and so my mother did make an appointment to have an abortion. And the day she went to the office, my dad actually looked at her and said, don't, let's just have her. And from there I was born. I did share that briefly. So as you can tell, I had a really close relationship with my father growing up, and whatnot. And then unfortunately in 2012, during my senior year of high school, he became very ill. And, but it was to the point where he was able to recover. But, one night I went to go see him the day before, and he was perfectly fine. I'm not going to get too specific into it, but he was fine and everything, and he was in the hospital for about 6-7 months, and they were going to move him over to, what is that called, physical therapy, so he could learn how to walk and stuff, because laying on a bed for 6 months is tough.
Right.
You kind of forget
Right.
how to walk and stuff. So whatever the case was, I saw him the day before, 2 days before, and then the next day they said, come visit, he is dead. So, yeah, like imagine that, you see your father, and then the next day they're like, yeah, he passed away. So what happened? How did this happen? Whatever the case is, like I said, I won't go into details about it, but ultimately this became a medical malpractice. And so there was a lawsuit involved in 2012, and the lawsuit lasted all the way up until 2020.
Wow.
We're talking about 8 years.
Wow.
8 years this lawsuit went in, and like I said, I'm not gonna really go into the amount and stuff, but in 2020 my family was compensated an X amount of money from my father, and in the back of my mind I knew that this was happening, and so I said, you know what, it sounds awful to say, but it's like I am going to be blessed with this money now, but at the same time, you'd never put an amount on a parent. I would never. If they say, hey, listen, we could bring your father back, just give us all the money back, I would give it all back. But the reality was, he's gone, and he left behind something. My whole family was getting compensated, and so when I got my portion, instead of me being silly and investing it into luxury items, purses, cars, all that stuff, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna make that idea I had, which is becoming a streamer and doing what I love, and make it into a reality. So what I did was, when I got that check, first thing I did was I found an apartment. I also invested a lot of money on equipment. And yes, the equipment I own is quite expensive, but it's worth it. And I know that for me, it's not a question of luxury, it's more like an investment, because I know it's going to pay me back, and it is till today.
Right.
So I took that money and I invested it, and I bought the microphone, a nice Apple computer, and I just went all out. And we're not talking about like a crazy amount. And there was a main reason why I never started off my career discussing finances, because I know ultimately people may think, oh, look at this girl, she, you know, now that she got daddy's money, she just wants to live off of that and just play video games and get paid. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. I just feel like this was like a sign, and you know, my father's like, here's this money, see what you can do with it, and with that, I want to turn it into multi-millions. You know, that's my goal. Like, I want to take that and turn it into something big, and I feel like I did the right thing. Not blowing it, but investing it. And majority of the money is in here. It's tied all into this career, and it is a major risk that even till today I am living through, but it was all worth it. It was all worth it. So that is how I was financially able to get this equipment and start my career. And exactly on August 13, 2020, a few days before I came home from work on a Friday. I was still working, by the way, when I started. I started on YouTube because for some reason, I had something against Twitch when I started streaming,
Really?
becoming a streamer. I said, I don't want to go on Twitch.
You're talking, it was a first live stream on YouTube, right?
So before I even did live streams, I posted videos on YouTube. I wasn't ready to live stream because I wasn't confident enough, and you know, it's like I was still unsure what I wanted to do. So my whole idea in the beginning was, I'm gonna do variety. Like, we're gonna play Grand Theft Auto, I'm gonna play Max Payne, we're gonna play this. It was all over the place. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna start on YouTube. I'm gonna record a little trailer and let people know that, hey, I'm HKayPlay and I'm a gamer girl, and I'm going to bring the best content out there, different content, variety content, the whole 9 yards. So it was funny because it was a Friday, a few days before August 13 on 2020. I came home from work. I was super tired, but I still turned on the camera. Mind you, I still have no idea how to use the equipment that I just got back then, a few years ago. So I just recorded everything. I chopped up and edited it the best I could. I used Final Cut Pro X, and I had no idea how to run. It looked like a different language to me, but I did the best I can. And then officially on August 13, 2020, I released my full first ever trailer on YouTube, which you can still find, by the way, on my YouTube channel. And from
watched
there,
it the other day.
Right, right. Like, sometimes I watch my own content and I cringe so hard. That's a whole story for a different day. But
you look like a baby in that video.
I'm gonna be honest. The way I looked at it was like, hey, I want to be that girl that doesn't care. Like, I'll leave my hair the way it is. I don't have to really wear makeup. I really was like, I'm gonna get into YouTube, and my first video is gonna be 1 million views. And boy, did that humble me, because that was not the case. It was so not the case. You know, one thing with YouTube I will tell people, just know that when you start YouTube, you are a small tadpole in a giant ocean.
Sure.
Oh, you will not get recognized, right? So, whatever the case was, I was still working real estate while I was doing YouTube. So in the beginning phase of YouTube, for about few months, I was pushing out videos once a week. And then there was times where I was like, you know what, let me do a live stream, which you could still find, by the way. I did a live stream playing Mario Maker viewer levels, and it was so weird doing it on YouTube. And I was happy, though, because I had 11 people watching me, and that made me so happy. When I did my first live stream. So I did a live stream, this and that, and whatever the case was, you know, YouTube, it was hard. I wasn't getting compensated by them, and I was still working, but in the back of my mind, I know that, hey, I have to focus on one thing to make it a reality and make it grow. So should I focus on real estate and get rid of this YouTube career, or should I take a risk and get into YouTube? So I was still doing YouTube, and my content is all over the place. At one point, I started just doing Mario Maker 3 times a week. At another point, I started doing retro reviews. It was a lot of work, and I was still working, but I said, you know what, it's time to pull the plug. In February 2021, I went to my job, and I said, I am quitting. I gave a month notice, and they were heartbroken, and because I was there for over 2 years, and they said, why are you leaving us? I said, because you know what, I want to do something that I love, not because other people told me to do, which was real estate. And it was really hard letting go of them, because it wasn't a company I worked with. We were actually family. It was a small office, and we were a family. And I remember on February 28th, which was my last day, I was saying goodbye to everyone, and my broker, he broke down crying, and he goes, just leave. And I said, why? I said, I want to say goodbye to you. He goes, just leave. And he was crying, and then I left, and I was crying too.
Aww.
And the funny thing is, that day, I was going to do a live stream. So, I got home, I cleaned up, this and that. I was crying a lot. It was bittersweet, but I was more excited. But I was nervous because, hey, now I'm not going to have money coming through my bank account. I'm going to be eating through my savings, like how I'm doing today. And I go home, and I did another live stream, and I said, hey guys, big news, I'm going to be doing this full-time now, blah, blah, blah. And I decided to play Grand Theft Auto Vice City. San Andreas. I think the VOD is still there. And that night, the entire time, I kid you not, I had one person watching me. One person watching me. And I'll never forget him. His name was Liam. And he's still part of my Discord. I would never forget him. One person was watching me the entire time. And I was still devastated about leaving my job. So I just ended the live stream, went on the couch, and I broke down crying, thinking I made the biggest mistake in my life. I said, I just did a live stream and I had one person watching me. I just left my job. Is this something I want to do? So I broke down crying. And I said, you know what, forget it. We're not going to do live streams anymore on YouTube. So then I started binge watching, if you guys know AVGN, Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Cinemassacre. So I started binge watching him, and I got the idea, hey, maybe I should do retro reviews as well. So I think I have 8 to 9 videos, and from there, that really brought the creativity out of me, and I started doing retro reviews, and whatnot, but it became so difficult, time-consuming, tiring. Mind you, I was doing it all for free, because I was not getting compensated on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I had another breakdown, during this time, at the end of March 2021, I had another breakdown, and I was like, I made a mistake, and I think I'm probably going to have to sell all my equipment and go back to work in real estate and try to work hard in real estate. So I broke down, but then the funny thing was, a few days later, first week of April, I already had a vacation plan to go to DR. Like, who quits a job just to go to DR?
Go on a vacation.
Right? Like, who does that? Money is already tight. Why are you going to DR? So, whatever the case was, I pre-recorded all my videos. So during that time, I transitioned to 3 Mario Maker 2 videos. And it was awesome. So I decided to pre-record them, and I went to DR for 10 days. And over there, I posted my videos on YouTube. And while I was still there vacationing, and when I went there, I don't know what it was, but I just needed to be away from New York. And going there really opened my mind, and I said, you know what, when I go back home, I am going to give Twitch a try. Why not? What's there to lose? I'm already doing YouTube for free, and I'll do Twitch for free also. Why not? So I came back, and exactly in May 2021, I did my first ever live stream on Twitch, and I played Mario Maker. It was fun. I said, hey, I could do this. Maybe I should do a few live streams a week on Twitch and 1 or 2 videos on YouTube. Hey, I could do this. And then exactly 1 month later, in June 2021, I became an affiliate. And I was like up and down dancing because that means that I can now get compensated. And
Yes.
In my mind, I said, hey, wait a minute. I did so much for YouTube for a while. But I just went on Twitch, and a month later, I got an affiliate, and I'm going to get paid now? So I was like, what am I doing? And for some reason, I just didn't like Twitch before, because I was just like, oh, YouTube is where the money is. But I was wrong. So in June 2021, I became an affiliate, and from there, I would say I was still unsure of my content. I did want to do video gaming. But as far as the video games, I did stick with Mario Maker 2, but here and there I danced around and played like other variety streaming, which was a dud in my opinion for me. But I stuck with Mario Maker 2, and it was kind of like a snowball effect because in the beginning of my Twitch phase, I averaged 10 to 11 max 20. Yeah, 10 to 11 on the good days, and I was happy with it. You know, people were subbing, gift subs were coming in, blah, blah, blah. Not a lot. And then, what I will never forget, August 13th, 2021, which was a year after I released my first YouTube video, I did it was funny because I did a whole celebration on Twitch, the birth of HKayPlay, because that's when I released my YouTube video, but why am I doing it on Twitch? You know, whatever. So I did a live stream on Twitch, and that day, I will never forget, it changed my life. That day, DGR Dave gave me a raid. I will never forget that. And we're talking about a party of 600 plus people. So I'm sitting there, and I'm going, I have the clip on YouTube, and I'm about to cry. And I'm like, oh my god, like, holy smokes, like, DGR Dave is here, you know, he's raiding. And people went crazy, level 5 hype train. Wow. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I noticed that a few people were actually coming from his stream, and my view count was going to 20 to 30s, 40s on the good days. And then a week later, 4 times within that month, I got a raid from Slade, another fantastic streamer on Twitch. 4 times. And from there I noticed, oh my god, little by little these people are coming in and they're sticking around. Boom, by the end of 2021 I was peaking 50s to 60s, 40s, 50s to 60s, and I was happy. And I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. And that time I think I was streaming only twice a week. I was still lazy, I will say. I still had that lazy bone in me. Oh, I only could do 2 live streams in 1 video. You know, I will admit I was pretty lazy. Because it's like, I'm not working. I should be doing this 7 days a week. So, little by little, you know, that was happening. And then, honestly, starting in 2022, I noticed that I stuck with Mario Maker. I added more days, and I started to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, meaning I recorded my live streams on Twitch, put it in Final Cut, chop it up, edit it, polish it, and push it on YouTube. So now I don't even have to do a side recording on YouTube because it's already done for me in the live stream. So right. I said, oh my god, this is genius. This is genius. So I'm just going to take my live streams, chop it up, and push it out on YouTube. And let me tell you something. My videos that I'm doing now have the best retention. And it's not about view count. It has the best retention than the other videos did. And I worked so hard in those videos. That was like the odd thing. So I was like, you know what? That's fine. We could do that. So, you know, I noticed, like, the community was slowly molding. The community was building. You see the familiar faces. I decided to open up Discord, which was, like, also the best thing ever, because that's how we connected with each other every day. So, little by little, it was like a snowball effect. The community was growing. And then, this year, August 2022, I was, able to, I reached all my requirements, to apply for partner on Twitch. I did apply, and unfortunately, during that time, 6 weeks later, I got rejected. And I remember when I got rejected that morning, I was going to do a live stream, and I actually cried that morning. I was like, no, you know, like I wanted to be partners so bad.
Of course.
But I was feeding my cat, and my cat's like, hey, human, give me my food already. I don't want to see you crying. You know, and he's just
Shut
staring
up
at
and
me.
feed me.
Like, what's wrong with her? You know. So I did cry, but you know what? I said, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Wipe off the tears, go take a shower, put on your clothes, and go do a nice live stream. Because at the end of the day, the community was still going to be there. I was still going to get support from you guys regardless. Why am I going to let something like that tear me down and take off a week and disappear? No. You know, go live stream, this and that. And I did break the news that day to you guys, which is fine. And then I was again given it was a bit confusing because Twitch really doesn't tell you when to reapply after rejection. It says you should wait a month, but I reached out to other partner streamers. One of them was Tofu, another fantastic streamer, and he said you could literally apply the next day, reapply. And I said, really? So what nobody knows is that a few weeks later after rejection, at the end of October, I decided to reapply, and I did not tell anyone the second time around. It wasn't that I was embarrassed to get rejected again. I was just like, you know what, let me just reapply. If I get a check mark, bada bing. If I don't, then I reapply. And I just want to tell the community, hey, this is when I get my check mark. That's it. I don't want to just keep talking about, oh, I applied. What happened? I got rejected. You know, I don't want to just keep doing that over and over. So that was funny. So when I applied for Twitch in October 2022, end of October. I also noticed that my YouTube channel, my view count and everything was skyrocketing. It was way better than when I started, and I got an email. Hey, you can also apply for YouTube, and I said, wow, I'll be damned. Hey, I could apply everywhere then. So I applied for YouTube, and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't really too excited about YouTube because, like I said, it wasn't my main bread and butter. But I said, you know what? Hey, let's go apply. You never know. So now, creeping up to last week, Monday morning, I woke up and I got an email, YouTube partner, and I said, oh my god, that's amazing. I said, wow, 2 years on YouTube, and now my work it's all getting paid off now. And I just checked the analytics, by the way, and so far I made $1 on YouTube, which I'm happy because it's something.
Let's go.
Yes.
That
It's
first
something.
$1.
I will take that
McDouble.
$1. So I became partners with YouTube, and Twitch was unexpected. And like I said, I applied the end of October, and they told me a few weeks, and I was like, yeah, they're definitely gonna let me know in a month, and they're probably gonna reject me again. But no, while I was live streaming, boom, YouTube, Twitch partner, and now the rest is history.
Wow.
That's my story so far. So far, that's my story.
So far, it's only just beginning.
Just the beginning.
Exactly. So I'm not familiar with YouTube, other than watching videos occasionally.
Right.
And I'm sure some of our listeners don't know either. But what are the requirements for becoming a YouTube partner?
So I would
what
say,
do they have like written down somewhere?
Sure. So I would say that the requirements to become YouTube is way more difficult. I kid you not, way more difficult than Twitch. I'll tell you why. So YouTube, first requirement you need is 1,000 subscribers. So that's like the first requirement. And like I said, when you start on YouTube, you are literally a small tadpole in a giant ocean. So getting 1,000 subscribers, by the way, subscribers on YouTube is different than Twitch. It's not, you don't pay to become a subscriber on YouTube, right? You just follow. Same thing as follow. So
Yeah.
the first requirement is 1,000 subscribers. The next requirement, they have 3, I believe. 4. The third one is, the second one is 4,000 watch hours. Meaning you need about 4,000 watch hours from people. And I'm not as sure exactly how that works. We're not talking about like minutes or anything, but you just need 4,000 watch hours from your views. And then the next one is, don't have any community strikes on your account, meaning like don't copyright or abuse it, or like the common sense part. Actually no. So yeah, there's only 3 requirements, and I actually checkboxed all the first and the third one, and it was just the 4,000 watch hours that I was struggling to get through. But with my latest content with this Mario Maker 2, I applied my skills from the retro review editing skills, and I applied it in Mario Maker, and I noticed that my view count went up. And I noticed that when your view count goes up, as well as your retention, YouTube has an algorithm where they decide to push you more. So I noticed some of my videos were bouncing off of Ryu Cars videos. I noticed on YouTube. So that's the requirement. It is difficult because, like I said, if you can get lucky as well, like you can make that one video and somehow it goes viral. You just never know. You can also have that luck. But I didn't have that luck. I just stuck with, if you want to be realistic, I was making content on a dead game, which is Mario Maker 2. So let's be realistic here. It'll be different if I was making content on the new Call of Duty or even the God of War game that just came out. That's different. But I just stuck with what I know. I'm not going to fake it and start playing these new hyped games just because everyone else is doing it. Because let's be realistic, they want to watch the big dogs playing it, not someone like me. That's just my opinion on it. So that's the requirements on YouTube, and it's doable. You could achieve if you know what you're doing, if you know how to crack the algorithm, you know how to make your thumbnails, use the right tags, know the exact times and days to publish, which I still don't know. I just stick with Sunday mornings. It's been working for me, and that was it. Yeah. 2 years later, I was able to apply for partner. And the funny thing is, eventually, like when you guys decide to apply for partner on Twitch makes you write this whole essay on why they should approve you. So I had to like, you should approve me because I love this platform, and you have to like kind of. I'm not gonna say you have to BS
sell it.
Yeah, you have to sell it. Like, why should we give you Twitch partner? To tell me how funny YouTube is. Hey, check this box if you agree. Yes, okay, we're gonna check your application.
You're a partner.
Wow.
I know for Twitch too, aren't they like, hey, also give us your YouTube, your Twitter, because we want to see how your community is outside of Twitch too. Don't they check in other areas as well?
Absolutely. So when you apply for Twitch partner, I forgot. I think affiliate you don't have to apply for. They just let you know when you got it. I think that's what it was, if I'm not mistaken.
You do have to apply because you have to put in like your tax information. You have to agree to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you apply for partner on Twitch, now we're talking about. The way it works is, okay, first you're going to give your, they're going to let you know, hey, you met all the requirements. Now, the requirements for Twitch, by the way, are streaming 12 different days, which is easy to do. I'm drawing a blank. Having a concurrent viewership of 75 viewers, which that is difficult to do. Oh, yeah. That is so difficult to do.
For sure.
And then I forgot what the other two were. I think it's having an X amount of followers or subscribers or something like that. I have to look at it again, but when you apply for partner, you put your username. You have to let them know which other community you have outside of Twitch. But I did let them know that, hey, listen, I do have Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, but I do not do live streaming on YouTube in case it's a conflict of interest. But I believe now you could dual stream, but not at the same time.
Right.
So I let them know. I said, listen, I only post videos. I don't do anything else. And also those VODs I take from Twitch are posted a week later. There's a strict rule that you're not allowed to post Twitch VODs 24 hours on YouTube. You have to wait 24 hours later. I don't know if that rule still applies. So
yeah, I'm not
that,
sure.
And then,
I know they loosened some stuff up with partners and stuff recently, so I'm not sure how that all applies.
Right. And then the last thing they want you to do is, hey, briefly write what do you do on Twitch, how's your community, and basically you just have to write what your heart is telling you to write, and that's what I did the second time around. And I said, listen, I'm applying again, and I don't consider this platform as, hey, this is something I do and then I make money and then, hey, I disappear after. I think of it more as a time where I get away, I play a video game that people are interested in, I build a community, I build a family, I build friends that I don't consider as paid subs. I consider them more than that. I consider them as my family. And honestly, just seeing how people like to get away from their crazy lives, spend a few hours with me, we all laugh and giggle and all that stuff. It's pretty powerful. We're all different people coming around from different parts of the world, all connecting through a video game. So to me, it's like I just wrote my heart out and I said, I really do hope by you guys approving will show that, hey, listen, I didn't do this. The community and I did this together. And lo and behold, it was such a great accomplishment.
That's awesome. I'm looking up the partner requirements right now.
What is
on
it?
Twitch, and they were so the average was 75 viewers, which I think everybody knows that's the most difficult one to achieve.
Right.
And then stream on 12 different days,
Correct.
as well as stream for 25 total hours. And this is all encompassed within the past 30 days. You have to accomplish this. This is not overall. This is on a 30-day basis. This is being checked.
So the funny thing you mentioned that. So it's not like it's a whole lifetime thing where the numbers are going to stay. Every 30 day it resets, but not like resets to 0 like people think. What happens is when I was trying to reach the goal, everything else was fine. Everything else was checked off. But the one thing that was so difficult to maintain was the 75 concurrent viewership, because once it reset after 30 days, I noticed that my points would drop. Like, let's say if 1 month I did have like 55 out of 75, when it reset, it went back to 49. So that was like the last thing though. But you know what? I understand why they make it difficult, because they're testing you to really wonder how hard you're willing to work and how many hours and how consistent you are. Because the more consistent you are and the more you put out there and the more, a solid community you have, you will achieve that number. So that's why I do understand why they make it difficult, and they do make it 75. I heard years ago that number used to be 150 or something. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah,
They've actually made it easier, although
Yes.
the pool is a lot bigger.
Yeah,
That's the difference.
Right.
Believe it or not, yes.
Back then, it used to be the pool was smaller of how many streamers you watched, but the requirements were harder. But I think it kind of balances out in reality.
Right.
Okay, I have a question for you, HK. So,
Yes.
even though you didn't have like the 75 average viewers at that time, were you still able to apply for a partner on Twitch, or did you have to have the 75 average viewers in order to submit anything at all?
So funny thing was that yes, you do have to have 75 or above, and when it was creeping towards that time to apply in August 2022, a few months ago, my numbers were 80s to 90s. I noticed. So they recognized that and they said, okay, boom, she is going past 75, but there was times where it would creep down to 60s, but I still hit it within that month over 75, so I was able to apply.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't that, before you hit 75 they could allow you to apply. No. After 75 they noticed that, hey, listen, her view count is over 75, let's do this, let's give her the opportunity. But I do understand why they rejected the first time. They said something with statistic and content, but to me I think it was like, my numbers in August are not the same of how they are in October and November. In August, I would say I was creeping around 60s. Good days were 85s. But when I reapplied, my numbers were always over 100. And that's without raids. That's why I was so confident to reapply.
Yeah, also it's a business choice on Twitch's end to partner with somebody because they're looking at you as an investment to bring them revenue as well.
Yes.
So that's why they also do make it difficult. They want to make sure it's somebody who they're like, yeah, this person's going to bring us in revenue. We want to partner with them.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. That's why it's like when some people, like, I hear it here and there, they're like, oh, it's so ridiculous that they make you they're making you do all this work. It's so hard to get 75. Come on, Twitch, what are you doing? And it's like, okay, yeah, let's approve you when you get like 10 people in your lobby and no one's gifting or budging anything. You got to think of it as a business perspective. Some people just get too personal about it, but it's like you have to look on their end as well.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I think it's great that they make people work. You know what? As a matter of fact, we should work hard, because what I do is something that I'm so grateful for, and it does upset me when some people get so like frustrated with the platform. They are compensating you to play video games at home. Come on, this is a dream job. And I get really, really upset when people get so like, oh my god, I can't believe Twitch is doing this and that. Me, I will never complain. This is the platform that is putting food on my table. You guys are putting food on my table. I don't do anything else besides this. So with me, this is a dream job. I respect it, I honor it, and I appreciate it, and honestly, it's like I will finally say I'm happy with something I do in my life.
Going back to what Jackson, you were saying, I know there are cases where Twitch has partnered people well before. Like, for example, if somebody from YouTube, who's this massive YouTuber, decides, I'm going to come to Twitch, their first stream can be partnered if they have the audience, and Twitch already knows ahead of time that, this person's going to bring us in revenue. We already know. Let's partner with this guy immediately. I know there's cases of that. But I don't know if there's anything else to do, because I think you could technically apply for partner. I don't know if you have to contact them in some fashion, but I know if you have a massive audience on other platforms and you can prove it, that if I go live here, you're going to have hundreds of people watching me day one, they will partner with you for your very first stream. I have seen cases of that.
The reason why I brought up the question in the first place was because I was thinking along those lines, but I even know some streamers on Twitch that only average even now around 50 to 40 viewers and have kind of averaged that the entire time, but they do have a YouTube platform where they have one or two videos that have really taken off. And I just think it's interesting because they're not the biggest YouTubers in the world, but if there's a way for them to say to Twitch, hey, I have quite a few subscribers on YouTube that I can bring over to Twitch or something of the sort. But that's why I was asking, can you still directly apply? But if you can't directly apply, I wonder how Twitch is made known of those smaller streamers.
And I don't know if those people were. Do you know if they've been on Twitch a long time or anything?
Yeah, they've been on
for
Twitch
years and years.
Probably
I
not
think Twitch
for
used
years
to be
and years,
more
but definitely
lax
before
about
they
that stuff.
got bigger on YouTube. So
Okay. I think Twitch used to be a little more lax on that type of stuff back in the day, but now that ever since like 2020 when like everybody decided to start streaming, I think they've tightened their belts on that type of stuff.
well, actually, it's been more recently that they've been able to become partner, like in the past few months that I'm thinking of. And I've even heard in just separate communities that Twitch was handing out partners to just people of this sort. So I think probably the past 6 months. So I was just curious about that.
I believe that's true though, because going back to that, I mean, you could say, hey, is that unfair? What about those people that have been, working hard since the beginning on Twitch, yet they're struggling with it? I mean, in the end of the day, like I said, in business perspective, they are looking at the ones that can generate income for them, right? And there was also another scenario, which I won't mention names, but, a specific big streamer had someone they know live stream as well, and they became partner 1 month after live streaming. And it's just also all about the connections, and if you have another platform, what your potential is. And I don't know if I can really sit there and be like, hey, that's unfair, or hey, it is what it is. And I guess someone like us are just gonna have to work harder.
Well, like, yeah, even hearing about your story, HK, just with the fact that a lot of your beginning growth just came from raids and just DGR and Slade. And just, I think there's so many big content creators out there that say, if you try and do Twitch alone, you will never survive. There is no way to get up there. There is no, if you can't really grind it out. But I think a lot of the times they under-evaluate like some of the really tight-knit communities that you can find on Twitch. Yes. And I feel like with the Super Mario Maker 2 community that has existed and still does exist to a certain extent, that you can actually, like, from raids and just from that kind of exposure, you can like take in some viewers and you can grow that way.
And it's funny you say that, because I've been asked multiple times. They said, hey HK, if I wanted to become a streamer, which platform would you suggest? And the first thing I always said was Twitch. I said, if you're planning to become a streamer, forget YouTube. I'm sorry, you're not gonna make it on YouTube, especially if you're a nobody. I said, go on Twitch, do what you have to do. But it's not all. But it's like some people got it, some people don't. Some people can naturally attract the audience, and some people fail to realize that when you live stream, you're also selling yourself. See, they just think, oh, I'm really good at this game. I'm just gonna play, and hopefully I become something out of it. It's not true. It is not true. But I will say the best thing ever that I did was build a solid community in Mario Maker, because like you said, Jackson, like you said, it's such a tight-knit community. All these streamers that have been in Mario Maker, as well as the community members that don't stream, have been so wonderful, so helpful. And to me, I just feel like Twitch is a platform. If we're talking about Mario Maker community, I don't know the other video gaming community, like the ROM hack community, I'm not sure. But as far as like Mario Maker 2 community, they will help you. They will help you if you deserve to be helped, if they see potential or something like that. Or some people are just generous. Somebody that has one person watching them, hey, let's go raid them. And I've seen Aura do that. Orator, another fantastic streamer at night, brings in 2,000 people to a streamer that had one person watching them. Things like that change your life with these raids, and raids are so important.
I do have to say, though, the raids are amazing, and it's so beautiful for people to share their communities. But it's that streamer that gets the raid that they make or break whether the viewers are going to come back. Because I know I've seen people on a raid before. I hang out for a little bit. It's a great time. I never see them again. But there's people that you just fall in love with in just a few seconds. And it's all about that selling yourself. Like with the big raid that you got in the beginning, HK, like those viewers came back because of you.
They saw something, and that's like my biggest thing. And not to really get off topic though, but sometimes it made me upset when people privately message me now that, they see that I'm taking off. Hey, I've been part of your community. I want to be a streamer too. Can you help me? Can you raid me? And I said, I don't think you're understanding. I can literally throw in 100 people, but I cannot guarantee you that they will stay. I said, you, on the other hand, have to prove to them why you are worth watching. You know, first of all, you cannot have a camera that's pointing up your nose the entire time. You cannot have a microphone that's muffled, sounds like you're underwater. You know, I can't help you with your personality or, you know, anything like that. And I feel like that's one thing people don't understand. It's not a question of you being a streamer. It's also a question of, hey, you know what? Is this person I want to see every day or be around with? Or is it... Because I get people that tell me, like, you know, because of you, like, you helped me through these dark times. And I sometimes get mind blown. I'm like, how? I said, I just play Mario Maker, you know? Like, not that I'm downplaying myself, but it's like, it's really amazing how some people get so attached to you as a streamer, and then you just get so attached to the community, and it's just such a good balance.
I know the four of us we all started in we all stream. We all started in Mario Maker. I see people in all four of our streams commonly all the time. And it's always, really, you know, these communities start to blend together and you make all these amazing friends and connections and networking, and you start to really care about these people. You know? You do. You really, really do. And I feel like I mentioned this sometimes on the stream. Offline, when I'm a regular person where I'm not streaming, I don't interact with anybody. I'm a very private person offline. I don't have much friends. Friends for me are like family members, like sisters and stuff. But ever since getting into Twitch, I can't believe how many great people I met online, and not in person yet. And in particular, you guys. You know, like Ashley, I speak to her every single day. You know, Taco and I speak here and there. You know, Bleach and I haven't really spoken yet. But
that's fine. We'll get there.
Hey, right. So, whatever the case is, it's like I don't consider you guys as a community or, hey, these are the people that are gonna watch me. I literally consider you guys my friends and family, and I can't say the same offline with other people. It's just so weird how well we all connect. But we don't know each other, but we do know each other. You know?
I always say we spend more time with each other than we spend with our friends and family. If you think about it, how long we're sitting in the same stream, or we're watching each other, or we're online streaming and each other are in our chats. I mean, I talk to you guys way more. I don't text my friends for 3 hours at a time, but I'll sit in a Pancho Taco Dave stream for 3 hours straight, talking the whole time.
Right. It's a comfort it's a comfort spot.
Yeah, no, it is, and yeah, going back, it is kind of cool when you, specifically, I mean, it's a lot of the really heavy hitters have moved on from Mario Maker, but for who's there, how many people, I mean, like you were saying, there's more than 2,000 people that will watch Mario Maker. Just look at 11 p.m. Eastern every night.
Right.
You'll get nearly 3,000 people watching. In the categories. I mean, people are still watching Mario Maker. I get a lot of people moved on. And it's not as popular as it once was, but there's still a tight group of people there. And
wait, Taco, can I say something?
Yeah, and there's people like the past year I watch and I've seen. I might not frequent their stream or anything, but I'll see them like a year ago, 3-4 people watching. Now they're in the 20s or something like that, 30s, whatever. So I mean, people are still watching it. It's I know you said a dead game, which it kind of is in a sense, but it's got a strong backing behind it. Still, it still has like strong core of people that will exclusively watch that.
It's funny you mentioned that, because let me tell you something. A lot of people, and a lot of people partnered, streamers on Twitch. They ask me, even till today, if I show my DMs, when are you going to let go of that game? And I said, why? And one time, I went to somebody's stream. I'm not going to mention names. I went to someone's stream, and he said, oh, hey, HK, how does it feel to apply for partner in a dead game? And I said, it's wonderful. And this is why I love Mario Maker, because not a lot of people can do it. But it's just the fact that there's such a solid community of viewers, supporters, that love this game, even though they don't want to play it, but they love watching someone else play it. And to me, people think I'm psychotic, the one that I want to play this 5 days in a row. And let me tell you something, I do have my days where I'm like, I'm so sick of this game, but it's such a love-hate relationship, but I will never knock on it or let go of it because that's how I got to where I am today, whether people like it or not.
And it's funny going back. You said that most of these people, they probably don't even want to play. It's true. It's nobody wants to sift through garbage all day, but they will watch somebody play garbage for hours.
Yeah,
and
it's entertainment. It's so entertaining. And one thing I liked about Mario Maker was that it's not repetitive at all. It's always new levels being posted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't get bored. And it's not like, oh, you're kind of doing the same thing over and over. Not really. It's new all the time because millions and millions of levels are being produced every day on Mario Maker. But like I said, I'm not going to lie. It does mentally mess with me sometimes. But ultimately at the end, I enjoy it still.
There are a lot of streamers who don't play it anymore, but they made their career off that game.
Yes.
A lot. And they're actively streaming, but they moved on, but that game has solidified a lot of careers.
Absolutely, I agree.
And it still is, apparently.
Yes.
Exactly. It's not going nowhere unless Mario Maker 3 comes out, which I'm hopeful, but
Right.
A lot of people say copium. But
that would officially kill it day one.
Right.
But maybe one day they will. I don't know. I don't know if they will. I know there's a lot of things where 2 didn't make the money that they were hoping from what I've seen in reports. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe one day though.
I mean, one thing I will tell you guys though is that as far as like now that I can be more relaxed, as far as like the future content that's gonna come to my channel, it's still up in the air, but I don't want to dedicate my entire career on Mario Maker. It's not like something I'm going to let go, but I think now because I built it off of one game, which is Mario Maker, it is difficult to kind of branch off. So I think that's where the struggle is going to come in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's plenty of streamers.
It's different too because Mario Maker is very short form entertainment, right? You play a level for 2 minutes, move on.
Exactly.
10 seconds, move on. 20 minutes sometimes, move on. 2 or 3 hours, move on. It's so
Right.
variety. And then when you transition to something that's more long form, some people just aren't looking for that, right? So it's difficult to find that balance of finding stuff that your viewers, I'm sure, would be interested in,
Right.
as opposed to Mario Maker. Let it be known, Mario Maker is the TikTok of Twitch. How's that?
Thank you.
It's such short form entertainment. Well, that's great. HK, thank you for sharing your story with us
of course.
here.
I'm happy I did.
Yeah, we're all of us here are excited to see. I going back to where you were talking about raids coming in, people stick around. I was one of them. I came in with I think the very first Slade raid that you received, and I stuck around after that. That was, I don't know, 14 months ago or something like that. It was a while ago. So that's how I discovered you. And I've kind of stuck around ever since then as well.
Yep, and now you and Ashley are my moderators, and now we just have to work on Bleachy becoming a moderator as well.
I'm too young for that crap. What are you talking about?
You're a mod for me, Bleachy.
Okay, well that's true. But whose fault is that?
I don't think you had a choice. Ashley just mods people.
You're just gonna ban everyone.
I have a few.
So, what are you guys playing? You guys playing any cool video games lately? I know we all have our Twitch presence where we're playing Mario. Actually, Jackson, I'm going to go to you. You're playing Totally Accurate Battleground Simulator.
Yes.
I've caught a few streams. That game is
something
weird.
Else. It's something
fun
else.
to watch.
So basically,
how do you like it?
Oh, I think it won't last forever. The love won't last forever, but it's fun. I think the game does a good job of just introducing new content pretty slowly, but just always keeping it fresh for you. So, for those of you who don't know, Totally Accurate Battle Simulator is, as you would expect it to be, anything but accurate. You have a bunch of troops that could be like a woolly mammoth, somebody with a spear, maybe some Roman soldier, and they cost a certain amount of coins. You place them down on your side of the battlefield, and then you have them go up against some other troop, some other army, and you have to try and beat the other army. And it sounds pretty simple, but it's a lot of fun. There's just so many different troops that you can add. There's just so many different scenarios that can play out. I'm having a good time just experimenting with the ridiculous scenarios, such as there was a pretty big like online debate about a year ago or something of whether or not a billion lions could beat one of every single Pokemon. So I decided to prove once and for all whether or not these billion lions could beat one of every Pokemon by putting it into Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. And the billion lions did win, for those of you who are curious.
That sounds interesting.
There you go. It's been solved on twitch.tv/bleachy_b. It's been shut down. Book is closed. We know the answer.
Now we can die peacefully.
And the funny thing about that game too is the physics are just insane. There's a bunch of people walking in with like limp legs, like noodle legs, noodle arms,
floppy
and just
fish,
smacking into each other.
It's fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, that's a fun game. I've enjoyed the bits that I've been able to jump in on that.
Yes.
Ashley, what about you? Playing anything online, offline? What you doing?
I had my stream. It was my last stream before I moved to Florida. And I was all excited. I was like, yeah, we're going to go out with a bang and I'm going to play this awesome game called Mario Maker 2. And I go to stream it. It's under maintenance. It had gone under maintenance like 5 minutes before I went live. So I was like, what the heck am I going to play? And I was chatting it up with everyone that was there. And Shovel Knight came into light.
That's right.
Yes. And
awesome.
Dave, your intro on Twitch, your starting soon screen, has a song that I love from Shovel Knight that my dog also weirdly loves. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I'm going to try it. I'm going to buy it. So it was Shovel of Hope. I think that's the first Shovel Knight game. Started playing it. I'm in love. I'm utterly in love. I am playing that sometimes online. Offline right now, I'm not playing anything. I have had no time since I moved. But now that, almost all my boxes are unpacked and all my furniture is almost here and everything, I think I'm excited to finish up my fourth 100% playthrough of Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot more in the SMW lately. A lot of ROM hacks. Well, one in particular that just never ends apparently. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really liking it, and it's definitely different coming as a primarily Mario Maker stream, which I haven't played in like 2 months or so now. But jumping into the SMW, it's very, very different. I am thoroughly enjoying it though. Kind of like the quality aspect is, I think, what I'm enjoying is consistency. Maybe that's more what I'm enjoying, the consistency that I can go from level to level, and it's usually it's got a good difficulty and it's genuinely fun. Might take a while to grind or something like that, but it's genuinely fun. So I've been enjoying jumping over to that. As far as other things, I was watching. Okay, we're gonna get into it. I was watching on the Twitch.tv some streamers playing a newly released game called Sonic Frontiers, and I don't like 3D Sonic. I do not like 3D Sonic. I don't think there's ever been a good 3D Sonic. Period.
What Sonic do you like?
Good. I was about to say I don't think there's many good 2D Sonics either, but I just don't think Sonic's good. I was watching Sonic Frontiers play, and I was like, okay, this actually looks kind of fun. Like, this is weird. I kind of like this. So I looked up online. I was like, I don't want to spend $60 and find out I hate this thing. So I looked online. I was like, well, what's the next best 3D Sonic game that's come out semi-recently? And the reviews seem to point to a game called Sonic Colors Ultimate, which which is right here. I'm showing it on screen here. I actually got a game case for this because I didn't want to spend $40 on the PlayStation Network for it. But my local Best Buy had it for $13. So I went and picked it up. I was like, okay, $13. That'll let me dip my toe in. See if it have these games gotten good. So I started playing it. Answer's no. They are
Really? You don't
still
like
not
it?
good.
So you don't like it?
No, I don't like it. I think it's
Yeah.
bad. I think it's bad.
Womp womp.
What's that?
What would you rate it on the arcade parlor?
Oh, you want me to Oprah this?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I will Oprah this. The official arcade parlor rating system. I'm not gonna look at I'm not gonna look at what our numbers mean, but I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. So what does that equate to?
That's a
4 out
gray
of 10.
sheet of paper.
It's a gray piece of paper.
Gray
Yeah,
piece of
I think it
paper.
is. Sonic Colors is a gray piece of paper.
That sums it up.
Not good. Not good. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't spend $60 on Sonic Frontiers. Maybe I'll pick up Sonic Frontiers when it inevitably, because it's a Sonic game, it's going to be like $10 in like 2 months. So I'll probably pick it up at that point
Wow, the shade.
and check it out.
Yikes.
Hey, there's some games that lose their value like fast. I've actually found that out about as much as I like most of the games, the dark picture games, which would be like Until Dawn. What was the last one I played? The Quarry. Which are more just narrative focused. You control what people's actions. People die. You don't know what the ending's going to be. There's like 100 different endings. And those games, they come out at $60, but literally 30 days later, you'll find them for $30 every time. Every time. So I found that waiting on those is always a good thing. There's just some games that for some reason they always lose, unless they're Nintendo or Call of Duty. They will never ever drop price more than like $8 or something like that. But I'm sure Sonic Frontiers will be there soon, so I might pick it up then. But we'll see. But I also have been playing online. I was playing it last night, actually. It was Sonic and Knuckles, which is Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But Tim, I never had a Genesis. I don't know much about Sonic lore, but I was told that apparently Sonic the Hedgehog 3 released without the Knuckles portion to it. And then later, and Ashley, you actually have this.
Yes.
Like it's a physical cartridge that fits over the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 cartridge, and it adds Knuckles to the game. Like it's a physical
Really?
game that sits over the existing game.
It's
like physical DLC.
10 feet away from me. It's this when they came out with the Sonic and Knuckles to add Knuckles. It's its own game. It's its own cartridge. And it has a little lid at the top that flips up, and you attach the second cartridge, which is Sonic 3, to the top of it.
Game Genie.
And then that adds the Knuckles aspect to it. It was, back in the day, I thought I was so cool that I had that cartridge. It's now it's just very cumbersome, and I took a picture of it. It's very tall.
What you're explaining reminds me of like a Game Genie. When you like stack it up, and it reminds me of that.
It's just like that. And there's actually a picture I've seen online where there's a Game Genie plus the Sonic and Knuckles plus Sonic 3 on top.
Ridiculous.
Oh, that's awesome. And then I think they did eventually publish an official Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles.
Yes.
Which is where the and Knuckles meme comes from, I believe,
Yep.
right? I haven't looked into it, but it makes sense when I'm thinking about it right now. That's where the and Knuckles meme comes from. So, okay, that's pretty cool. But anyway, I've been playing that. I started a run as Knuckles, which I had forgotten what this game was. I probably played it at least 20 years ago was the last time I probably played it. And I had forgotten that was even Sonic 3. I just thought it was called Sonic and Knuckles, and it wasn't even, a canonical, number 3 or something like that. I had completely forgotten about that. So I started playing. I was like, oh, I do remember Sonic the Hedgehog 3 now. And playing it, and I don't know. Sonic just doesn't click for me. The platforming never felt good. I think the best parts are actually when you go and get the Chaos Emerald and you're running in that 3D space, turning orbs from blue to red. I think that's actually the best part of that game.
I love that.
So maybe I do like 3D Sonic to an extent, if that's the case. But I don't know. Sonic's never clicked for me, and I don't think it's going to anytime soon. But I did have fun playing it on stream. I won't lie, I did have fun, but I don't see me coming back to it anytime soon.
Understandable. And you know what I love also when like somebody like asks you, oh, so what do you think of the Sonic Frontiers? Oh, I'm not really into it. What? Are you crazy? That's like the best game ever. Like that happened to me multiple times because online on my streams, all I do is play Mario Maker, and I'm slowly transitioning to Serious Sam. Phenomenal game, by the way. Offline, I have a friend, and they recommended. Are you guys familiar with Grounded?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they recommended Grounded, and you know me, like I'm trying to impress them, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll download it and play it with you. I hate it. Okay, I hate it. I just couldn't get into it. And when you tell people that, they get so offended. They're like, how could you not like the game?
My favorite game?
Yeah, what are you talking about? But all you do is play Mario Maker. Blah, blah, you don't even give it a chance. Like, and then just like, I'm sorry, there's just some things I'm just not into. And Grounded was definitely one of them, though. But offline, I actually do not play anything. I refuse to play anything because I feel like I want to save the hype and that pleasure of when I'm doing it online. I feel like if I have a Steam Deck, maybe I'll sit on the couch and I'll play some Left 4 Dead or, I don't know, maybe, some other games here and there. Brotato is nice. But other than that, I try not to spoil myself, and I just stay away from video games offline.
I don't play many on offline anymore, but that's mostly because I just don't have time.
Right.
These days, we're back in the day, yes, a lot, but I just don't have a ton of time offline. I just happen to pop in. I was more just testing the waters with this Sonic game, and it ain't it. It's not it.
At least you tried.
I did try. I tried.
And it was only $13.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good investment just to try something.
That was a great little segment too. The Dave the Dad tips for saving money on games.
Yes.
Don't buy Sonic.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've even booted up in the past 30 days. Oh, Dead Space.
Yeah.
I did a first run of Dead Space in October for Spooky Games. And dude, Dead Space was a blast. Holy crap. Like that game came out in oh geez. When did Dead Space come out? Let me look this up really quick. I know they're doing a remake soon.
I think it was awesome watching you play it. I remember when you were playing it during October.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. It came out October 14th of 2008.
Wow.
So I was probably playing it during its anniversary, honestly. 2008, so that's 14 years ago? Yeah, that's 14 years ago that came out, and that game holds up. Visually, it still looks pretty good. I was playing on PC, so of course I was able to have everything maxed out. I was playing at I think I capped it at 60 FPS because the game has issues because it's older. And it's not a great port on PC. There's a lot of don't do keyboard and mouse. There's a lot of issues with that, but controller was pretty fine. But I had a lot of fun considering it was a game from 2008 that's in the 3D space, which a lot of those games don't age well. 3D games especially don't tend to age well, especially from over a decade ago. But this one, in terms of how it looks, how it plays, it's a little clunky in the play, but I think that's also part of the charm of the game, to make you feel more survival horror, is that kind of clunkiness to it. It makes it just feel everything's more deliberate, more dangerous because of that, but I had a blast playing it. I had an absolute blast, and I do want to play Dead Space 2 at some point, which I've heard is an excellent, excellent sequel. Dead Space 3 I've heard is no good. I don't really plan to play that, but I really had a good time with Dead Space. Real good time.
It was really fun watching you play that.
By the way, Taco, I am really enjoying the ROM hacks you're playing. I know you mentioned it before, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said it's Jump Half, but
Yep,
These
jump
ROM
half,
hacks,
which-
I'm watching you play. They're so enjoyable to watch. I actually messaged Ashley the other night, and we were talking about it. We were like, "Yo, this is actually pretty cool." Watching you play this ROM hack.
Mm-hmm. Jump half is when I look it up, it's a very well known hack. A lot of people like it.
Right.
It's not exactly Kaizo. It dips its toes into it later on, from what I understand, and I think I'm starting to get to some of that. But it's a lot of just tight jumping for the most part. You're never gonna do a shell jump on purpose or just to progress. I should say. You can do them to cheese occasionally if you want, I'm sure, but the game's not gonna force you to do it, so you don't have to worry about that. Which, speaking of which, shell jumping in SMW is makes way more sense than Mario Maker. Just the frames, it just lines up better. You can jump way better. It just makes more sense. You can do it probably your first try. But yeah, it's like 130 exits, 130 levels, which is insane. I think I'm like in the 70s now or something like that.
Wow.
So I've been having a lot of fun with that one. That one's very, very fun.
I gotta say, as someone who's been in your channel since the literal beginning, watching you play ROM hacks is probably my favorite content that you've ever done.
I'm enjoying it a lot, for sure. I'm enjoying it a lot, for sure. Trying to think if there's any, I know I played some other stuff in October that was fun. I did play The Quarry, which is that other story-driven game by the people who did Until Dawn. And I liked it up till the end. I think the ending was kind of a wet fart, especially the ending I got. Apparently there's some other endings to it, but the one I got was really bad. I thought it just kind of abruptly ended the game, and I was quite disappointed. I liked the rest of the game until the ending, which kind of, it makes me not want to revisit it to even do any other endings again, because it took so long to get there, and then that's what I was left with. So I'm not too eager to get back into that one. But I can't remember if I played anything else specifically for, I did start playing the first Resident Evil, which I do want to get back to. I was having some fun with that. But that's it's the remake where that came out in like 2018, 2016. I don't remember when it came out. And it's very much still has that old video game vibe of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Just walk around, look at things until you finally find something that's like, oh, this unlocked for me. No hand holding at all. No pinpoints on the map where you're supposed to go. And it's difficult, but I'm kind of digging it.
Any plans to play the new Resident Evil?
The new one, Resident Evil 8?
Yeah,
Village?
8. I think I think they have an extension pack or something with it.
Yeah, DLC just came out like 2 weeks ago
Right.
for it. I don't think I do. I'm not big into Resident Evil. I like watching other people play it. But I don't think, I'm not usually a survival horror fan. I don't like that feeling of, oh, I only have 5 bullets left all the time or something like that.
Right.
That's not my favorite. But I think the later Resident Evils get more action, so they have more ammunition from what I understand. But
right.
That's not typically my genre of choice.
I will say one thing. I am also not into that stuff. Like, as you can tell, all I do is 2D side-scrolling. But one thing I will say is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard was amazing.
Really?
Like, that game, like, I would so play it again and again. And I'm not into Resident Evil, like, just like how you said, like, those survival type of games, but something about 7 blew my mind. But when I got into 8, I just couldn't get into it, and till this day, I never completed it. So it's sad because, it's like, you buy a game, you kind of want to play it, but I don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I've heard 7, people really like 7. It kind of, it's the first person game that they put out, I believe, for Resident Evil. And I've actually heard the VR for it is very good.
What, Bleachy? Or Jackson?
Is that the one with the family that's coming
Yes.
after you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep, I've heard a lot of people really, really like 7. It was that's one thing I'll always give to Capcom with Resident Evil is they try new things with Resident Evil, and most of the time it kind of pays off, it looks like, except for like maybe Resident Evil 6, which I think is universally disliked by most people. I don't know why. I've never played it. I didn't look much into it, but I know people did not like that one. But then they kind of brought back the energy with 7, and then people liked 8, and I'm sure they'll have a 9 coming out. Maybe in E3 they'll announce it. Who knows? This coming year, whatever they plan to do. But people like Resident Evil. People love it, and I know they had those remakes that came out of Resident Evil 2, which people absolutely adored. Which I would like to play sometime, as well as 3. I think people like the third one, maybe not as much as the second remake, but the third remake, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think that's all that I've been playing. I don't think there's anything else I've even tried to boot up lately. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Have any of you guys
Okay.
played Outer Wilds?
Never heard of it.
So basically, Ashley, I would recommend this game for you. I just started. Well, I started playing it a while ago, but I started a new save because I didn't finish the last one. I started a new save about a month ago or something like that. It's basically just like kind of unsettling, but not scary, unsettling space exploration game where you're just uncovering the secrets of some like ancient species, and it's genuinely really good. I've heard a bunch of people talk about it and saying it's one of their favorite games, and this is coming from people who also like Breath of the Wild. So if you're into Breath of the Wild and that type of game, then maybe consider checking out Outer Wilds. And I haven't beat the game yet, but I've heard the ending is amazing. It's an incredible payoff. But it just does a lot of things right. And as far as like getting you to really like be curious about everything that there is with the game, like trying to uncover things, trying to find new steps, figure out like the intentions of this ancient species that is long gone supposedly. And there's just a bunch of interesting space mechanics as well. It's a game that I've been playing, the past month, and I would definitely recommend it.
I gotta check that out.
That's it's kind of roguelite, right? You have like 20-minute runs or something like that. 20-minute timer if I remember right.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, I guess that's a bit of a spoiler, but yeah, you do have 22 minutes to just discover as much as you can, and then it kind of just resets from the beginning of the game, and then you have to discover as much as you can, and there's just different day cycles, and I wouldn't say it's a roguelike, just because it has that cycle element, but the cycle element does give it a very like unique feel that no other game has.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I have heard, I know that game got Game of the Year from a few outlets that I follow as well. People really did like that one. It was a very unique one. Let's see. I don't know if there's any games on the horizon even coming out that at least I have any interest in. I'm interested to watch other people play the Callisto Protocol that's coming out, which is by the original Dead Space devs. I think that's coming out in like 2 weeks or something like that. I think that'll be a fun watch for sure. I don't anticipate playing that myself. I'm kind of right now trying not to spend money right now since we've got a baby coming in just like 5 days.
Yes.
So I'm trying to like not spend money, on video games, at least at like a $60 tier right now. So I think that's it for me.
Only other thing on my end is I just purchased a Super NT and a Mega SG.
Oh,
Yes.
right. That's awesome.
Now they're not shipping until Q4 of 2023, so
That's
Holy.
crazy.
it'll be a while. But I told myself when I moved I wasn't gonna spend any money on games, and then they're doing one more batch of the Super NT and Mega SG. I was like, I gotta get on it. If I don't get on it now, I'm gonna be paying hundreds of dollars above retail if I ever want to try and find one of these. So I bit the bullet. I purchased them last week, and now I have a year of anticipation ahead of me.
I told you that before. I said I think it's like the best investment you can have is holding on to that. And I feel guilty now not getting my hands on it, but I'm really glad you did.
Thanks, me too.
Now are they both shipping at the same time?
I believe they're
both of them are not till 2023.
Yes, they're both Q4 of 2023.
I'm actually shocked. They actually still have them in stock.
I
They're
pre-ordered.
still taking orders. Yeah, they still have them that you can add them to cart, which I'm actually surprised at.
Me too.
I wish they didn't discontinue the transparent version.
Yeah, I saw that one's discontinued.
I thought that was so
would be cool
cool
to see all the internals.
Yeah.
But that's another, I'm sure a lot of people here know the Super NT Mega SG technology being that FPGA where it's emulating at a hardware level. So you're getting as close to accuracy to the original consoles as you can get, which is far more accurate than an emulator on your computer that's running at emulating software from there.
Right.
Really cool devices at a great price if you just want something that's plug and go. Very, very cool. All right. Well, I think we're coming to a close here, guys. I think I think this has been a great episode. Absolutely great episode.
Agreed. I'm so happy that I did it. I wasn't nervous at first. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Coming from I'm a New Yorker, and in my stream, I drop a lot of bad words. I was very nervous about going on this podcast and slipping, even though you guys said you guys would like bleep it out. But I think little by little, just speaking with you guys, who I consider more than just fellow streamers, as friends, this was a great experience for my first podcast. And for many more to come. But I think as for my first podcast, I said what I had to say, and this was a part of me that not a lot of people knew. And I'm sure a lot of people were always, I did get asked a lot, hey, how did you start? And I said, you know what, one day I will tell you guys. And I think today was definitely the perfect opportunity.
And here it is, yeah. And that's great, and that was great to hear.
Yeah,
and I had a lot of fun listening to that. Well, with that, let's go around the table. See, where's everybody at? Ashley, why don't you give us a little self promo? What you doing?
Right now, you can find me streaming on twitch.tv/Ashley with 2 E's _FL. I'm streaming Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday nights consistently, 9 p.m. until midnight. I'm also on Twitter, same thing, at Ashley with 2 E's _FL. And I did put out a TikTok this month, or last month, I should say, relating to the butter race between Bleachy B and myself. Which congratulations to the winner, Bleachy B.
Hooray, thank you.
The loser had to eat a stick of butter. That was me. So if you want to see me eating a stick of butter, you can go on TikTok. My handle is Ashley with 2 E's _Florida, all spelled out.
Thank you, Ashley. Jackson, what about you?
Yeah, I would highly recommend just watching Ashley's TikTok. That's some good butter eating content that we like to see. You can find me on twitch.tv/bleachy_B. Content's pretty chill right now, not doing a ton of crazy stuff, but hopefully we can kick things into gear as we get further through the month. And that's about it for me.
Okay. And you can find me, twitch.tv/Poncho Taco. Sundays, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. Doing a lot of ROM hacking, playing ROM hacks and retro games right now. Having an absolute blast there. As well as you can just Google Poncho Taco. I think you'll pretty much find me pretty much anywhere there. HK, what you got?
Well, so you can definitely find me at twitch.tv/HKPlay. I stream Monday through Fridays yet. So up until recently, I added a 5th day, which I'm really happy I did. So you can catch me Monday through Fridays, starting around 12 p.m. Eastern timing. And I usually end, depending on the day, around 5, 6 o'clock, or even go longer, 7 o'clock Eastern timing. Monday through Friday, I play Mario Maker 2, and then I'm slowly drifting off to some variety at the end of the last hour of the stream. And even though if somebody's watching this next year or next month, if you guys are listening to this now, I am doing a 24-hour stream on November 17. 24-hour stream is happening on November 17 from 10 a.m. all the way till 10 a.m. the next day on the 18th, and a lot of variety gaming happening that day, so if you guys are interested, definitely do come by. And lastly, I am on YouTube. YouTube is where it all started, but YouTube is like the second most important platform I'm on, but all I do is post every Sundays. Sunday morning, I post a 20 to 30 minute Super Mario Maker 2 video that you guys can look forward to your weekly dose of nonsense levels, you know. So you can find that on my YouTube channel, and that's pretty much it.
Definitely go follow HKayPlay if you are not. Fun stream. Check out her YouTube. Like go in and like every single video. Go just go wild. Just go wild. As far as Arcade Parlor goes, you can always find our website, HKayParlorcast.com. If you guys have any comments, you can send an email to email@arcadeparlorcast.com, where we can see it. Maybe you want something else to discuss. Maybe you want us to do a fun bit, maybe a fun game or something on here. Send an email there, whatever you want. You can just send us anything. We also do have a phone number, which I'm trying to find now. Where did that phone number go? I think it's I think I have it right here. Let's see. Nope, it's in the other one. I have this over here. Our phone number is 402-915-1082. You can call in; it'll take you directly to voicemail. You can leave us a comment. We'll scan your audio that you send us, and we will play it on stream here, and we can react to it as you want us to. Again, that's 402-915-1082. With that said, thank you for tuning into Arcade Parlor. We will be back next month with episode 4. I don't know who our guest is going to be, but I can guarantee it's going to be a great time. And I am looking super extra forward to it. Again, HKayPlay, thanks for joining us. Had a great time with you.
Thank you so much. Like I said, this was such a great opportunity. It broke the ice, and I had a wonderful time. I really did.
That's what we want to hear from all our guests. That's perfect. All right, with that said, adios. Bye-bye.
Peace out.
Bye guys.